Leadership on public policy is a core strategic value and an area where East River has excelled. As we look to the future of electric cooperatives and possible flux within the energy sector, political advocacy must remain a constant priority. East River employees work diligently to stay connected with legislators and keep them informed of our industry. Our lobbying efforts in collaboration with BASIN Electric, SDREA in Pierre, MREA in St. Paul, and NRECA in Washington, D.C. have helped shape policy decisions to benefit all of our members.
Electric cooperatives were extremely successful during this year's legislative sessions in both Minnesota and South Dakota, where we were able to adopt significant changes that will help us continue serving our members with affordable and reliable electricity for years to come. Here to explain is East River General Counsel Bob Saar.
Let's begin with bills that were signed into law in 2016 in both Minnesota and South Dakota dealing with utility railroad crossings. A bill in Minnesota that passed both the House and Senate and was signed by Governor Mark Dayton amended a previous $750 fee to a $1,250 one-time fee that's retroactive, which means if a utility has already paid $1,250 or more, they don't owe the railroad any more money for an individual crossing. The language also makes clear that there's no charge for crossing a public right-of-way. It will ensure that railroad companies and their agents can't charge large fees for crossing their property. The fee will be adjusted each May based on inflation. South Dakota's railroad crossing bill further clarified law that was passed in 2014 that sets a $750 fee for railroad crossings and allows co-ops to submit a crossing application and commence construction in 30 days if the railroad doesn't respond. The Minnesota copper theft bill that stiffens penalties for copper thieves was signed into law by Governor Dayton. The new law will help local prosecutors by giving them options for stronger penalties when dealing with copper thieves. It also includes stiffer penalties for damaging any equipment that's energized. New straight voltage rules developed by the South Dakota PUC and approved by the South Dakota Legislative Rules and Review Committee went into effect on July 1st, 2016. The rules set standard measurement and testing procedures for straight voltage or current, primarily at South Dakota dairies, and will help safeguard utilities from frivolous straight voltage lawsuits. Thanks to all who helped in the effort to push through these legislative wins for electric cooperatives. They are true testaments to the positive power of the cooperative network. We're gearing up for next year's legislative sessions in Minnesota and South Dakota and are working closely with statewide organizations in each state to continue to bring positive change and defend our industry.
We were honored to have 3 elected officials visit the East River headquarters on separate occasions in late August and early September. During their visits, U.S. Representative Kristi Noem, U.S. Senator John Thune, and South Dakota Public Utilities Commissioner Chris Nelson toured East River's facilities in Madison, including the dispatch center where they were able to learn more about the transmission system and how the cooperatives in South Dakota operate. We also had in-depth discussions on cybersecurity as well as some legislative priorities we have at the federal level.
The safety and health of our employees is a core value identified in our strategic plan, and East River was honored to receive recognition again this year for our safety and health program. In May of 2016, Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton selected East River to receive the Meritorious Achievement Award for Excellence in Occupational Safety from the state of Minnesota.
This is an important honor that further validates our workplace safety efforts over the past year. Safety and Health Manager Corey Gunderson will explain how East River's focus on safety and health remains a top priority.
A commitment to safe and healthy performance is the driving force behind East River's Focus program. In the past year, we've implemented several safety and health projects that are designed to benefit our overall workforce. East River recently partnered with Sanford Health's occupational medicine specialist to complete job function matching assessments to analyze and document the physical requirements needed to perform the job safely. When the functional demands of a job and the worker's functional ability are properly matched, we can more effectively prevent and reduce work-related injuries by identifying changes in the work area or techniques used to perform the job, such as minimizing repetitive motion. Proper job function matching also helps us chart the best road forward after work-related injuries such as by developing light-duty workloads to get employees back on the job sooner. We continue to look at enhancing East River's internal communications and recently incorporated ResponseWare survey technology into our training program to help achieve that communication goal. This technology is designed to increase training engagement and topic retention. The technology lets trainers add multiple choice quizzes to their presentations, and training participants may answer the questions using their smartphones, computers, or handheld devices provided by the trainer. We have also deployed iPads to workers in the field where they can access safety sheets and materials, and we've created a mobile app to help our employees keep their vehicle weights at a safe level. We continually assess our security procedures to maintain the safety of East River's facilities and recently implemented a new visitor badging procedure for East River's downtown campus facilities. All visitors must check in and out from the reception area and are given a badge to wear while on premises. Our infrastructure of surveillance cameras continues to grow, and we're currently looking at cameras to be utilized at substation facilities. Cameras placed at substations could provide security surveillance as well as remote troubleshooting. We'll be testing in the near future. Now here's East River's Marketing Coordinator and Wellness Committee member, Erica Fitzhugh, with details on the committee's latest health and wellness efforts.
On the health side of our focus program, East River's Wellness Committee has introduced a series of exciting changes designed to keep our employees active, healthy, and engaged. Twice daily during break times, employees can participate in 10-minute walking programs. The Wellness Committee also provides healthy and inexpensive lunches each month and has hosted a Lunch and Learn session, which will be offered quarterly. Monthly e-newsletters sent by the Wellness Committee include healthy lifestyle tips, important calendar reminders, and other wellness-related information. These efforts combine to ensure that East River's Focus program remains top of mind, because when safe and healthy performance is a priority, we all benefit.
Interest in renewables continues to rise, and a joint report from GTM Research and the Solar Energy Industries Association said the solar industry is projected to add over 14 gigawatts of capacity in 2016, a 94% increase over the almost 8 gigawatts installed in 2015. The price for non-residential solar installations dropped just over 8% in the first half of 2016, and the price for residential installations dropped almost 9%.
Solar energy offers opportunities for electric cooperatives, and solar projects have sparked the interest of several of our member systems. Here are a few of our member managers with updates on their solar projects.
I'm standing next to the Central Electric Prairie Solar project outside of our Mitchell headquarters building, and this system was made by 10K Solar. It is an 8,400 watt system. It's unique in the fact that it consists of 36 panels. Half of them face south and half of them face north. The system has produced about 1,220 kilowatt hours a month on average, and that's about 15% below what the system was projected to produce. We've got members that are asking us about putting solar on their homes. We've had a couple of those, and then we've got more of our larger commercial accounts that are also inquiring about solar. They come in sounding pretty serious, and then when we talk to them a little bit, they believe they're not quite as serious about it, but they're still talking about it. And when we go places in the evening for public meetings or public gatherings, it's not uncommon to get asked a question about solar.
Well, our system here at our Brandon facility is a 25 kW stationary system. It's got a total of about 80 panels. We got 40 facing south, 20 southwest, and 20 facing west. We went into production May 1st of 2015, and in the first year it produced just over 31,000 kilowatt hours with a capacity factor of around 14.3. The south panels, definitely our biggest producers. Highest month we had was July, and the lowest month was December. The system cost us a total of about $80,000. After receiving a couple of grants, our cost was around $51,000. People want to know how the system's performing, if we've had any maintenance issues, what the costs are, how much they can expect as far as output, and as far as payback, they're interested in that as well. We've also had some groups come through and tour the system here on site. Through the course of the first year, the system's been very reliable. We had virtually no maintenance issues during the first year of production, and we hope to see that continue going forward. We're into our second year, and we do have an issue with one panel that we're working on now, but for the most part, the system's been very reliable.
The co-op board started thinking about doing a small solar demonstration project in 2014, and they wanted the project to be very similar to something that one of our members might put on our distribution system. So we developed a 8.4 kW AC solar unit here right at the cooperative. We started developing the project here towards the end of 2015, used mostly cooperative employees to build it, a local electrician, making sure that we had our city permits and everything. And then at the end of November, first part of December, the project actually went online and we started producing energy for the co-op. We have had some member interest, probably not as much as we expected, but having the project here on site and having some of the production online, we're able to share those production numbers with any members that ask, and we're also able to share with them the cost to actually put up the project. If we had any advice to give to anybody, talk to the other co-ops that have done projects. Make sure you're talking with the state, the city, wherever you're developing the project, making sure you have all those permits and inspections done. Make sure you're talking to your local USDA person to see if there's any grants available, or even if there's any grants in the state that are available as well.
South Central Electric in St. James and Redwood Electric in Clements, Minnesota, each built a 134 kW solar array. Both arrays are 448 panels. They're 400 watts each. The South Central Electric solar array behind me is located at the Poet biorefining plant near Lake Crystal. Redwood Electric solar array is located at High Water Ethanol near Lamberton, Minnesota. So you got renewable fuel and renewable electricity created at the same place. The construction of both of these projects started last fall, with both of them going online at the very end of December. Then we worked through billing and then through basically checking out the array, making sure everything was working right before we started marketing to members. Both projects are enrolled in BASIN's small renewable energy program. We worked through East River with that. The renewable energy credits are registered with Emirates, and so we are generating renewable energy credits because the production from this array will produce about 223,000 kilowatt hours a year.
Power purchase agreements that Basin Electric has in wind projects across the upper Great Plains are helping us capture the power and benefits of wind when it blows. At the end of 2015, wind had a maximum winter capacity of producing 15%, or 811 megawatts of Basin Electric's generation portfolio. At the end of 2016, wind's maximum capacities in Basin Electric's portfolio are projected to jump to 23%, or 1,533 megawatts. A windy spring spiked those numbers in April 2016, when the average capacity factor across all wind projects was 50%, which is the equivalent of the turbine running full output half of the month.
Every year, we're allotted renewable energy credits from Basin Electric's wind purchases and projects. One REC represents 1 megawatt hour produced from a renewable energy generation source. In the past, all of these RECs were sold on the market and the funds were distributed amongst the cooperatives based on their usage. In 2016, East River began discussing a 100% renewable program through which each member cooperative can elect to sell their allotted RECs directly to their consumers and satisfy the desire of those consumers to support renewable energy. Here's Chief Member and Public Relations Officer Chris Studer with more details.
Through our 100% renewable program, we have the opportunity to provide our consumer members with the renewable options that they want and continue the relationship as their energy experts. Sioux Valley Energy and Dakota Energy Cooperative were the initial participants in East River's 100% renewable program, which launched earlier this year. Both Sioux Valley and Dakota Energy initially targeted their commercial members and have plans to extend the reach of their programs to residential members. We recently received some great news that Marmon Energy, a manufacturing company that produces wind towers in Sioux Valley Energy's territory, has agreed to be part of the program and offset their usage with renewable energy credits. East River has the ability to expand the 100% renewable program to more members this fall. The program is highly customizable, and the price of the RECs and the amount of RECs sold are determined by each cooperative. East River provides a unified logo and a theme and marketing materials for the program, and will work with member systems to create a marketing plan as well as assist with the program launch.
As we mentioned, Basin Electric is adding more wind to their generation mix and is also looking at other generation sources. Here is Basin Electric's Vice President of Cooperative Planning, Dave Rotz, with more updates on those and other cooperative planning projects at Basin Electric.
I appreciate the opportunity to give you a brief update today on Basin Electric's membership load growth expectations and ongoing load and power supply analysis activities. In January, we completed our annual long-term load forecast process with the membership. Based upon this work, we continue to forecast electric growth across most of the member systems. However, the expected growth rate is lower than forecasted in 2015. Decreased oil and natural gas price expectations have resulted in a slowdown of drilling activity in western North Dakota and significant reductions in coal usage from the Powder River Basin in northeastern Wyoming. We are also seeing impacts of lower commodity price expectations throughout the membership service territories. Staff is currently working with the membership on the development of the 2017 annual long-term load forecast, which is expected to be completed in January of 2017. Also, to better understand changing load conditions out several years, we have initiated a new, simplified quarterly load forecast process. We believe this new process will help us better manage financial and power supply issues of the cooperative. Staff is also working with the membership to gauge the risk of load loss to potential other consumer power supply options. The consumer options being looked at this time include self-generation and potential market access. Collectively, we are trying to become more informed on consumer economic options so that we can strategically consider our path into the future. I believe these issues are mainly being driven by our member consumers' perception of low natural gas prices well into the future and concerns of where our electric prices will be under a more carbon-constrained future. Basin Electric staff is also spending considerable time evaluating long-term resource expansion options under a variety of uncertain future conditions. This chart lists 5 of the ongoing long-term analyses which Basin Electric staff is involved with. Due to the complexity and sheer scope of the required analysis to understand the impacts of significant potential wind build-out in the upper Midwest, the Clean Power Plan, and the potential development of an RTO in the Wyoming and Colorado area, we have hired external consultants to aid us in these analyses. I am confident that collectively we can make good long-term decisions for the benefit of our cooperative family consumers. Thanks for the opportunity to participate and have a great annual meeting.
The amount of renewable energy added to our mix continues to rise.
This year, 35% of the power we provide will be renewable, thanks to the new wind projects and the steady hydropower resource provided by the Western Area Power Administration, which makes up 18% of our power supply. With an update from Western, here's Senior Vice President and Upper Great Plains Regional Manager Bob Harris.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be able to address you electronically at your annual meeting again this year. Both myself and Mark Gabriel, Western's administrator, are planning to attend the meeting. So if you have any questions or would like to chat, we'd love to have an opportunity to talk to you. First off, I know a lot of you are interested in what's happening with Western's power rate starting in January. Very happy to let you know that we will be having a rate reduction in January. It'll be in the 3 to 5 mil range, and I wish I had an exact number for you. I know you're all anxious for that number so that you can do your annual budget. The primary reason for the rate reduction is paying off the drought loans associated with our last drought, and we expect to do that in 18. That means we have 3 payments left this year, 16, 17, and 18. In order to establish what we're going to be able to pay off in 16, we need to have a good estimate of the annual costs for the 3 agencies, Western, the Bureau, and the Corps of Engineers. And we won't have that until towards the end of September. Our fiscal year ends in September, and so those good estimates won't be until towards the middle or the end of September. That will establish the remaining costs associated with what we have to pay in both 17 and 18, and therefore we'll be able to roll that all together into a study and determine what the final rate will be. We should have that to you in mid-October. We are right now preparing the rate study so that once we get the final numbers, we can just drop them into the study and give you as early notification as possible. Once again, 3 to 5 mils. It's a great time to be able to reduce the rate. It doesn't happen often. I'm very happy to be able to announce that. And we hope to do that again next year as well. Second question that comes up recently is how is the membership in SPP going? Is it realizing the benefits that we thought it would? It's going very well. We are realizing the benefits that we estimated, and maybe a little better than that. This year we haven't had average generation, and so it's been a year that we've really been able to benefit from lower cost energy when we need it in the market, and in those hours when we have extra energy, being able to sell at a reasonable price. As a consequence, joining SPP has been the right decision this year, and I think it'll continue to be a good decision in the future. It has raised some interesting questions as we decide collectively with East River and the other customers what costs are appropriate to go into the SPP Upper Missouri pricing zone. I appreciate being able to work with East River to come up with a good conclusion on that. I think we're nearing the end of that determination, and things will go a little smoother in the future. I really do appreciate the good working relationship we have with East River. It's one where we work together to reduce and hold the cost down for all the customers at the end of the line. We solve problems together. It's something that's not always easy, one we do not take for granted. We've had for so many years, it's easy to just assume that will continue, but it's one that we appreciate, I think you appreciate, and I thank you for working to that end along with us. Again, thanks for having me to your annual meeting today electronically, and I'll see you face to face. Have a good meeting. Thank you very much.